Hello, everybody. Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast. Today it is the 19th of July, 2022, and Juan Soto is your 2022 State Farm Home Run Derby champion. And there's a lot that comes with it. So we'll have a full breakdown of that on today's show.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast. Today it is the 19th of July, 2022. We're so glad you are joining us. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LO_Nationals. You guys can find me at Josh Neighbors _. Find the show wherever you get your podcast, and we are on YouTube as well. Look, no sports writer or radio host is going to go hungry today in the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area. Juan Soto wins the home run derby last night, but there's so much more to it than that. I mean, to beat Albert Pujols, to beat Julio Rodriguez, to beat Jose Ramirez, to make basically the Dominican sweep, right? I mean, that was an event last night, dominated. It's awesome to see that too, dominated by Dominican players. And actually, my dad even noted that. He's like, man, these guys, I was actually recently there. Like, it is crazy. It's not a big island, and they produce so much talent. And I'll tell you what's really cool too. They're so close. It's like a fraternity. It's like a brotherhood. And to see that was really cool. Events like this put all of these guys together from all over the map in terms of where they play in the, in Major League Baseball, but they share a heritage. And the fact that we get to see that on display in the brotherhood and the bonds that are created by that is a really cool thing. So I just want to note that off the top. Juan Soto winning this home run derby is just another notch in the belt. And, for a guy who has had an incredible career as it already stands, you think about, everything that Juan Soto has accomplished. He is a world champion. He is a two-time All-Star. I think last year was Silver Slugger last year. So two-time All-Star, right? Rookie of the second Rookie of the Year voting back in 2018. Finished second MVP voting last year. Could have easily won the MVP last year. He's an All-Star this year. He is a home run derby champion, and this list is going to keep growing. The question is, where does it continue to grow? And I know, I think last night for a lot of us, it was nice to enjoy. The Nationals had a win. It was hard to enjoy it fully because obviously even Buster only asked. And I don't know if the question after was unfair or not. I saw people people were wondering this. I think as a Nationals fan, if you're a Nationals fan out there, you probably didn't love that, but because you've gotten enough of it as it is. But Buster only asked that question. He says, I'm glad to win. I'm glad to do it as a National. I'm a champion. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. And to see him out there also with Dave Martinez too. Dave Martinez is at the All-Star game. Brian Snitker's given the opportunity to be an All-Star, assistant, because guess what happened back in 2020? Dave Martinez never got to manage the All-Star team because there was no All-Star game. And so I think that is, that's something that is pretty special to see him be able to get that recognition, to get that opportunity, to be able to celebrate out there with Juan Soto is something that was really special. To see his dad hug Dave Martinez was really special. I mean, they were, it looked like Juan Soto's dad was really pleased to see Dave Martinez out there, which I thought was really cool. He gave him a big hug, and to see all the support that he got too. Like, this guy is such an unflappable superstar. He really is. And I know, it's we all want to enjoy this, and we are enjoying it. He's a home run derby champion, and he beat out a lot of really good guys to do it, and beat Julio Rodriguez, who looked like he had all the juice in the world, but Soto went out there and topped him in that final round. And also seeing how much it means to those guys. Like, these guys want to win this competition really badly. These guys want to win. You see how much Pete Alonso cares about it and how much Juan Soto meant to Juan Soto when he finally hit that winning home run, tossing the bat in the air and jumping up, and everybody around the pitcher's mound going up and down. I mean, he was thrilled to win it. This is Aram Layton, who founded Just Baseball and also former Locked On Marlins host, put it last night. Like, it's the best all-star event by far. It's better than the dunk contest. It's better than the three-point contest. It's better than the skills challenge. It's better than the NBA all-star game. It's better than MLB's own all-star game. It's better than whatever else they have at the NHL all-star game. Obviously the Pro Bowl sucks, so we're not going to count the Pro Bowl in this. I think it's actually pretty cool. The MLS All-Stars do play like a club, though. Like, if they play like Tottenham, I actually think it's pretty cool. But like, it's not as good as, the Home Run Derby. The stars show up. You had last night Kyle Schwarber, who we know is a wrecking crew, against Albert Pujols, who is a first ballot, a living legend, is what he is, and a guy who's in a lot of home runs, who actually advanced onto the second round. You had Jose Ramirez, we know hits tanks. You had Corey Seager's obviously a good player. You had Julio Rodriguez, who became a star, a national star last night. Obviously, he's the front runner for American League Rookie of the Year, but he became a star last night with that performance. You have got Juan Soto, obviously, who's out there too. I mean, this is a star-studded affair. Pete Alonso, it's a star-studded event. And it's really cool that they load these fields. They stack these fields. These guys want to be in this competition. Shohei Ohtani, obviously in the competition last year. These guys want to be there, and they want to win it, and wanted to win it last night. I think the one thing that worried people is that it kind of gave them Bryce Harper vibes, right? I mean, Bryce, walks from the Nationals, and that still obviously stings a lot of people. Not as much as they want a World Series, but I think it's crystallized now. It's kind of going to sting if they lose one, and nobody wants them to lose Juan Soto. No Nash. Well, I'll take that back. There are a lot. I actually know a few Nationals fans out there who have got some decent reasons saying, look, if they want this much money, and my dog's barking like crazy, if they want this much money, it's not worth this much money. And if we can get a really good return, a really good haul for a player like that, then it should be worth it for us to do it. I actually understand that. But the sentiment generally is, when a guy like this walks in your door, you don't let him go. And normally you absorb a big cost to do so. Well, there is a chance that cost might be too big. But I actually, last night, guys, I mean, I think it was relatively emotional. Like, that's a guy who's mentioned that he's want to stay here. He's already won a championship here. I think he's going to win MVPs if he stays in DC. Like, if you're a Nationals fan last night and you found yourself a little emotional and just like, man, all of this is great, and also it all kind of sucks. Like, I don't blame you at all. So I thought last night was really interesting from all of those perspectives. I mean, the happiness of seeing him win. Now you had everybody on Twitter going like, wow, great to see, that there could be 3 straight Mets who won the Home Run Derby, right? Or, wow, cool to see another future Philly win the Home Run Derby. People putting him in pinstripes and all this kind of stuff. And Nationals fans, I know you all won a World Series in 2019, but I'm telling you guys, you're taking a beating right now. And if you feel like you're taking a beating, it's totally fair. Like, I don't know how much that 2019 World Series trumps anything right now, because it feels like it was so far away. You couldn't celebrate it wholly. And now you're about to lose the biggest star and the only, he's the only remaining star. Like as good as Steven Strasburg was, he was a star. He is no longer a star. Patrick Corbin was a star. He is no longer a star. Max Scherzer is a star, but he is gone. You think about all the other guys off that team, that are gone. Rendon's not a star anymore, but he was a star on that team. Obviously, he's the star in our eyes. If you're in the DMV and if you're a Nats fan, he's a star, but he is retired now. So like, this is what's left, and this is what's left. And I understand why Nats fans want him back so badly. I totally get it. I saw a comment this morning. I think somebody in the Junkie said it, like, the Nats are close to becoming the Oakland A's. I don't know if I agree with that. They could easily turn Juan Soto into a incredible haul, it's still very possible. But there's there's an ownership change that is there. And Juan Soto actually talked about that yesterday. And, if Juan Soto is talking about an ownership change and what the next ownership would bring to the table, I find it really hard to believe they're going to trade him now. I really do. Like, why is there any rush to get Juan Soto out of there? I don't get this. And Buster Olney said yesterday, GMs around the league expect him to be traded. Like, there is nothing coming out of DC right now that is signaling the Nats are immediately going to do it. Yes, there are reports they're gonna field those offers. I'm sure they will. They actually already have fielded them. But I don't think they're done yet with Juan Soto. I don't think the story is over in terms of Juan Soto with the Nationals. I could be completely wrong. All right. I might look like the biggest idiot in the world. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong here, if I'm totally off on this. But the national story with Juan Soto is not done. He is the star of all stars. He will put butts in seats. He will put jerseys on backs. He is a guy you want to build your franchise around. I said this yesterday. I think if we're talking about values, 10 years, $400 million to me is fair. We saw some John Heyman reporting yesterday that numbers brought up by Scott Boras. He had brought up the Max Scherzer contract. That's 3, I think, at 43 years. Basically 3 for whatever the deal is. Let me see what Max contract is, just so I get the number right. But he brought up the Max. So it's 3 years, $130 million, right? So obviously Max is getting that bag, and I think that comes out 3 for 43. Somebody did the math for me there. That's about 43, right? So 120 divided by 3 is 40, and then the 10 divided by 3 is a little bit over 3 years. So he's around 43. So Scott Boras had brought up that deal reportedly, is according to John Heyman over the New York Post. He brought that up, and Mike Rizzo had said, "We'll give you that deal. We'll do that deal at 3 for 43. If that's the deal that you guys want, we'll give you guys that deal." And he was saying it tongue in cheek. His whole point was, that's not what we're talking about here, right? 3 for 130 is a different conversation than $43 million for 6 years. I'm just going to do math right here. 43 times. For 14 years, times 14. 43 times 14 is $602 million. I don't think there's a franchise out there that's going to invest $602 million into Juan Soto. Once again, Josh Neighbors could be the biggest idiot out there. I could be totally wrong. And y'all can drag me for it and say whatever the heck you want about it. I think that, that's something that's definitely there. It's totally a possibility with this. I don't see that. And so I think there's a middle ground. And look, I think the target for them is definitely 500 million. I've been pretty adamant in saying I think it ends up around between 450 and 500. Now I think it's going to be closer to like what I am comfortable with is I'll be comfortable with 10 years around 40 million. If you give or take in any couple directions, I think it's fine. But like, that's an AAV of $40 million a year. It also allows Juan Soto to get a second contract in the end after that. Hell, even 12 for 480, I'd be comfortable with. I think that's actually, that's once again the $400 million pace. He could still get paid in the end of that, if he takes immediately. Like, I think there are ways to get this deal done. It's just a matter of who is going to be getting this deal done. Well, whoever is Mike Rizzo currently negotiating with a backing of the next ownership? And there's no reporting to back that up. I'm not trying to say I have any inside information. I'm just sharing that, I'm just sharing that, like, we don't know what's happening on the inside of this kind of stuff. There's a lot of reports from everywhere, but I think a lot of you probably agree with me. It's hard to see the Nationals just calling it quits now. They aren't going to get a bigger haul this year than they would next year, I don't think. I don't think that's going to be the case. So all of this stuff surrounds a Juan Soto home run derby win last night because you know why? He looked like the star of all stars last night. He looked like the guy in front of the entire country last night in that event. It was special to watch. I'm sure all of you guys enjoyed that journey, but there's a cloud hanging over it for sure, but I think there is some happiness we can take in this season that's been really rough for the Nationals. Last night, Juan Soto wins. Juan Soto cares about DC, cares about this baseball club, and I think the Nationals are not done yet trying to see if they can get him to stay in Washington, D.C. So that's it for this one. A little bit shorter than normal. You guys can find us. Anywhere online, Locked On Nationals, over you guys get your podcast, YouTube as well. You guys can follow me on Twitter at @JoshNeighbors_. You guys can follow the show at _Nationals. Till next time, my friends, as always, stay safe.